What's that BG song? Oh, of course, Staying Alive. That's exactly what the Golden State Warriors have done. Great news for Warriors fans. They won Game 7, 103-89 over the Houston Rockets. It was without a doubt an intense battle. We'll dive into the details of Game 7 in the first part of today's discussion, but shortly thereafter, we'll need to shift our focus to what comes next. As we all know, timing is crucial right now for Golden State. They just came out a 7-game series and now enjoy one day of rest before flying to Minnesota to face the Timberwolves in Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals. So let's preview Warriors vs. Timberwolves toward the end of today's conversation. With the Timberwolves being slight favorites in the opener, experts believe Golden State may be fatigued after a grueling Game 7 and travel. We were live for that showdown against Houston, and we'll be live for every contest between the Warriors and Timberwolves. So stay tuned. That's why you follow this channel for daily informative and entertaining coverage of the Golden State Warriors, whether via video or live stream. I hope to see you all for the inaugural tip-off. Let's analyze Game 7 a bit more and review Golden State's performance data. We know one player had an outstanding showing, but we'll consider the game as a whole, noting that Golden State shot 42% from 3 in Game 7. The theme woven throughout the series, as expected, was the rebounding battle and Houston's dominance on the boards. On face value, Golden State shot 42% from 3 in Game 7, and we already knew rebounding would be pivotal with Houston exerting its superiority in that category. Golden State was out-rebounded by 14 in the previous game and struggled on offensive boards. Yet, they managed to limit Houston's half-court attack. They deployed zone looks that hampered the plays Houston tried to run in that area of the court. When a role player delivers the performance we saw in the last game, the odds of winning Game 7 climb significantly. It always seems that Game 7s are a stage for unexpected heroes to emerge. I mean, he'd scored just 4 points in earlier games, then erupted for 33 in Game 7. Regardless, he was playing on a hot streak against Houston. To be fair, many of his looks were wide open, but as we know, Golden State struggled to convert free throws early in the series. He started in the lineup while the team tested various defensive schemes to counter Houston's strengths, and he shined. If he keeps that up, not that he needs to drop 33 every night against Minnesota, but simply to knock down his free throws and do his job, then Golden State's ceiling rises dramatically. We've talked constantly about the bench support Golden State can rely on. Yesterday provided the answer as he delivered an extraordinary performance. How did Golden State motivate such a showing? He explained in the post-game press conference that they had a very emotional team meeting led by some of his teammates. One of them mentioned that they'd had many meetings like that before, but this one stood out as special and unique. That emotional gathering was led by standout players, and while similar meetings had taken place in the past, this one was memorable enough to stay with them. The talk emphasized the meeting's importance, especially when one player expressed his determination to refocus for the next game to keep everyone locked in and ready. The previous Game 6 setback had hurt the team's defense, allowing the opponent to exploit it. Shifting focus to another player, expectations are that he'll hold his spot in the rotation and bring energy on both ends. It was notable that this player played a crucial defensive role in the decisive game. Throughout the series, commentators highlighted his contributions. One coach praised his defense, noting how he held an opposing star to just 2 free throw attempts, especially after the struggles of earlier games. His impact wasn't limited to scoring. It was an all-around effort. Others also recognized his defensive actions in the game. In a post-game interview, a teammate acknowledged their friendly rivalry, but lauded his defensive work, underlining how essential he was to the team's win. With 22 first-half points, he set the tone at a time when another key player was off-shoot. As the second half unfolded, another teammate took charge with significant assists and led the team in rebounds, tying for the team lead in dimes. The opponent tried hard to contain him, mixing double teams with and without the ball and even zone looks, but it wasn't enough. When he's on the floor under the bright lights, he elevates his game, delivering in crunch time with a clutch shot late in the fourth quarter as his team ripped off a huge run. It was remarkable to watch, and those contributions will be vital in upcoming games. Another reserve posted a solid outing, logging significant minutes despite battling an injury this series. He's giving his all, competing as though nothing slows him down. With a robust stat line of points and rebounds, he continues to impact the game, hitting some of the toughest shots imaginable. Often off the clock, stepping back for that jumper. No matter the scenario, he seems to thrive under pressure, providing consistent floor spacing and rebounding while playing off the ball. Draymond was stellar, setting the tone early with 8 first-quarter points, beginning with a drive and finish at the rim, followed by a three-pointer. I'll admit, I sighed in relief when he drained that first long ball because it signaled he was in rhythm. He attempted 8 threes and was efficient. On defense, the team showed intensity beyond their height, and Draymond was crucial, protecting the rim and locking down multiple assignments. He guarded an opponent's star, and though we know he has ups and downs, he's always a force. Golden State formed a strong barrier around the paint, making life hard for Houston on mid-range shots. Draymond is arguably the league's best defender. It's vital to stay disciplined. No unnecessary fouls or technicals in this critical phase. We know they'll need extra contributions hitting big shots. And when he returns from injury, one player must step up and deliver decisive buckets. Golden State has generated plenty of open looks as opponents often don't respect the bench, especially beyond the arc. Those threes must fall in this game of makes and misses. They did enough last night. The Game 7 victory was rewarding. Indeed, the ability to knock down those shots is fundamental. This is a championship where it all comes down to make or miss. However, they did what they needed to do. If you're pleased with the Game 7 outcome, you're probably enjoying this content. And if so, consider that incentive to stick around. In a quick note, daily fantasy basketball has surged in popularity as a fun, simple way to engage with the games. Here's how it works. You pick a lineup of 2 to 6 players, then predict whether they'll finish over or under their projection. Following your favorite teams, you can turn a small wager into up to 2,000 times your money. It's a thrilling experience I've been into for a while. Highly recommended. Regarding the DFS lineup, I'm eyeing for the playoffs. In one matchup, I'm targeting over 5.5 assists for a player who often draws double teams, expecting him to find open shooters. For another athlete, I've got over 5 rebounds, believing he'll work the glass effectively. And for a third, I'm going under 27 points. It may sound odd, but the opponent is one of the league's best defensively. Rebounds. I think the Knicks plan to use him as a key paint presence, so he should grab a solid share. The idea of Jalen Brunson going under 27 might seem absurd. He was brilliant against Detroit, but Boston is among the NBA's elite at defending guard play. So take my picks or leave them, but make sure to interact. Let's now dive into Game 1 between the Warriors and Timberwolves. From the tip, I expect Golden State to struggle in the opener. Let's be honest, the 37-year-old Steph and the 35-year-olds Jimmy and Dre will face a stiff test, but I'll be here cheering them on. Man, I love these Warriors. And if they manage to keep it close and maybe steal a win, that'll be something special. It'll be a physical fight. Another team with multiple defenders for Steph. Yet, Golden State can leverage the intensity they showed last series. Looking back at the regular season matchups, Golden State won the season series convincingly 3-1 after a poor first game. They closed out 3 straight wins with the last of those on January 15. Importantly, Jimmy Butler didn't join Minnesota until February 5, so none of those 4 games featured Jimmy on the Wolves. He's had a storied rivalry with the Dubs and now presents a fresh challenge. Minnesota enters with a top 3 rim defense, allowing just 64.2% shooting at the rim, 3rd best in the NBA. Offensively, they take and make a ton of threes, ranking 4th in league-wide efficiency from deep. Conversely, Golden State sits around league average in many offensive metrics. Another note, Minnesota is elite in transition defense, ranking 2nd in points allowed per possession after turnover. Golden State must exploit transition whenever possible, and they're strong there, too, especially with Jimmy added, though the season stats may not reflect it yet. Minnesota plays slower than the Warriors. If Golden State dictates pace, that could be decisive. As always, feel free to pause the video to scrutinize any stat you like and ponder how this series might play out. Key defensive issues for Minnesota. They frequently concede wide-open threes, ranking 3rd or 4th in the NBA for uncontested looks in early playoff rounds. Their corner threes are among the league's most frequent, 5th most overall. Golden State, not depending on lumbering bigs.